this episode of Content Marketing Commute in beautiful Barcelona. Yes, that's right, a new city for the show today. And I'm joined to speak about comedy in B2B marketing and influencer marketing in B2B by Max Gayler from Claap.
Hi.
How are you?
Very well. How are you?
Great, man. It's good to have you on the show.
Yeah, it's great. I'm very excited to, one, take a walk, and two, talk about funny things.
Man, so good. You're a funny guy. I've been following you a while on LinkedIn. It's always pressure when someone says you're a funny guy, and then we go into like an interview, but don't let that sway you.
I tell myself I'm funny all the time. Don't worry, I prepped myself last night. A lot of affirmations in the mirror.
Good stuff. Okay, let's get walking, man.
Okay,
Vale. How is your Spanish, by the way?
Muy bien.
Muy bien?
I lived there for 7 years.
Yeah.
So you live in Europe. You live in a non-English speaking country.
Exactly.
You know how important it is just to assimilate in the culture. And two, you know how much the locals appreciate it.
They do.
So you come across too many, especially British people. You come across too many Brits who don't speak the language, and so when you
just
live
like
there,
Estrella, por favor,
I've got friends who've lived there for 5 years, and they're going to listen to this, and they're going to know who they are. they still don't speak Spanish, and it's just you should. Come on, it's like it is hard, but it's totally worth it, and it's really important.
Yeah, totally. And so, do you speak Catalan though?
So all that stuff I just said, just backtrack, forget all of that stuff I just said. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Because that's the complicated part of being in Barcelona.
It is. The thing is, if you really, really want to win points, you should learn Catalan.
Right.
100%. And it's also respectful. They've got a totally different culture. They're actually an older country than Spain.
Oh, wow.
And they've got their history, settlers from Africa came here before, this is where they landed in Spain. So their history is longer and it's very rich, and there's loads of important political stuff going on.
Yeah, man. But that's a whole other story for another podcast, I think.
Yeah. If you want to do an Independentista feud podcast, then that's the one.
Love it, man. Hey, so you're senior content strategist.
That is my
Claap.
title.
Tell us a bit about Claap, and mainly I want to hear about this guy called Ken Bleacher.
Yeah, that guy.
The featured teacher?
The featured teacher, they call him. Yeah.
Wait, is it? I also don't want to out you if this is like a Superman type thing. No, are you quite open about the fact that
Ken is a vessel for me to be famous.
Love it.
The plan is to just funnel people from Ken to me, so that I will. So eventually we can just get rid of Ken, and then it can just be Max. But if I say a little bit about Claap, we're a really interesting tech startup from France. Claap is an all-in-one video workspace solution for sales and product and marketing teams, anything you want to kind of improve productivity and save time when it comes to closing deals for your sales team and aligning faster and easier with the various different departments to kind of kill silos and get rid of information dispersion across company.
That sounds like something I need.
I think everyone needs. I honestly think every company needs it. I obviously have to say that. It's my job to say that.
True.
But I think every single company needs it. Everyone I speak to about the problems we solve agrees.
You just get it.
Just get it. No one wants to waste time. Time is super valuable. And there's so many tools that do such interesting and amazing things, and I really think we're one of them.
Yeah, I've been following Claap for a few years actually, and it seemed like at the start it was about working ASAP. It was about kind of getting rid of meetings, and I was like, seems like I want to do it. I freaking hate meetings so much. It's like if I can, I'm known as the guy who's by my colleagues. If I can get out of a meeting, I'll do it. I'll do it. And done this.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's kind of evolved since then a little bit.
It has. You've noticed.
I've noticed.
It's one of these things with marketing pivots. You always wonder, one, do people notice? Two, do people care? Three, does it matter? Let's find out. Yeah. But I think. I actually joined the company a year and a half ago to give you full context. And the company's been going for 3 years. I guess they launched 2 years ago.
Okay.
But they've been going as a company for 3 years.
Through an interesting period in history, I was thinking.
Yeah. I think a lot, because we are kind of a productivity and meeting recording tool.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the idea was definitely born out of COVID and on the boom of working online and remote working. And that's why it started off as a screen recording tool and a async tool. I mean, that was the taxonomy we used for all of our marketing. And then things happen. You realize where not just the money is, but where the actual activation and where the inspiring stuff is coming. And we found that despite us marketing to a certain crowd for a certain use case, what people were finding the product for and sticking with it was meeting recording within a sales team.
Okay.
So we started off as a product team-focused async tool, and now we're more of a sales-focused meeting recording tool.
Okay, awesome. That's always interesting. Yeah, startup world. Like, if you've worked in a startup, you would have probably been through a pivot.
Oh my gosh! Before I was at Claap, I was at Typeform.
Yeah.
It's an amazing company, and my gosh, we pivot a lot.
Yeah.
We love to pivot. Yeah. Sometimes you'd come into work and you're working on something for maybe like a month or so, and then someone will be like, "Oh, by the way,
we're not doing that.
I'm not doing that anymore." By the way, I don't know why you're doing that for still.
Yeah.
But that's the exciting world of hyper growth startups.
It is, man.
My God.
It is. The moment you said Typeform, this thing came in my head.
Ooh.
It was like, forms like this get answers like this.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I think I've seen that ad like 4,000 times.
Their ads are super aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, they once you like type the word form into Google, you're done. I mean, do you get our ads a lot?
I think, yeah.
I've got all of my friends who like ever watch videos, or anyone who ever like types in the name of the company.
Yeah.
They then just message me, and normally like a week or two later being like, "You've ruined my YouTube experience. All I'm doing is just seeing Ken Bleacher's face all over everything."
So good. So that's a good segue. Ken Bleacher. Who is Ken Bleacher?
Who is Ken Bleacher? I can give you the root and the birth of Ken Bleacher.
Please.
So
birth.
The birth.
Was it an easy birth?
It was an accidental birth. He was an accident. He was a mistake, I guess you'd call him. But basically, we launched on Product Hunt for the Claap 2.0 in April of 2023, which was basically a year ago. And we're a video-focused tool, so we were like, we need to have a video to announce.
Yeah.
And my background is in journalism and marketing, but I'm from Stratford-upon-Avon, which is the birthplace of Shakespeare, and acting is in my blood, and I grew up acting, and for a lot of my life I wanted to be an actor.
So cool.
It was like, cool, like I can just use that a bit. Like I definitely didn't feel like I wanted to be on video, but I was like, I'll do this, and we hired some other actors, and we released this video called Make Claps Not War, which is basically about this. We invented this fake war between like people who like meetings and people who don't like meetings, and I was this news anchor.
Okay.
And I was kind of favorite movie growing up was Anchorman, so
I
kind of wanted to play
favorite movie of all time.
It's just amazing, and I kind of wanted to play this kind of like hacky, like braggadocious and arrogant newscaster.
Yeah.
Anchorman.
Yeah.
And I did that for the video, and after we did the launch, and it went really well.
Yeah.
My boss, Pierre, who I'm going to upset every French person who's ever listened to this podcast, but he said to me, Max, I really like this Max, and he's got a beautiful French accent.
I really like this.
I really like this, and he was super supportive, and he was like, you should just do this.
Oh, it's awesome.
And I am super attention seeking, and I like to be loud, and
you just like to make everything about yourself.
I like to make everything about me. So he gave me the keys, and I was like, okay, cool. Well, we're doing this.
Yeah, that's so sick. Now that's cool though when you put yourself out there a little bit, and then someone like encourages you to. We're like that. Hey, we might not do that again. Maybe Max, we will not do
and like you know what? Like the other founder, Robin, his job is to be a bit more of a realist sometimes, and like he's a super intelligent, product focused, like like works a lot with engineers. He's very like logical, and his job is to sometimes bring me and Pierre down to earth. We'll come up with these ideas that maybe are like too ridiculous, and he'll be like, what does this have to do with what we're actually doing? So his job is to and like that's another really helpful part of the process, having someone when you're trying to be funny, especially like a lot of comedians talk about like how to be funny, and they normally say like you should listen to no one, right? Like they say go to a lot of comedy shows to find your style, and kind of listen to no one. The whole idea is you do comedy shows and you get laughed at and booed until someone starts clapping. And I think I sometimes am a bit headstrong, and I think the same with the videos. I'm like, I want no feedback. I want to do it because I know this is funny.
Sure.
But then it's actually really useful to have someone to come in and boil
down
the ideas.
You, man. It's kind of that balance between, I think it can go way too far the other way a lot of ways, where it's like marketing by committee is never going to work, and it's going to be released.
Too many cooks.
Yeah, too many cooks. So you have to have your own vision for it, but then again, you have to have people to bounce it off. I like that. Yeah. Cool. Well, that's like the topic we want to get into. Comedy in B2B. I was really interested to talk to you about that because you've taken this really quite unique approach with Ken Bleacher, the feature, and kind of like, I was just thinking, you could, a lot of the things you're talking about in these videos, and I'll link to a bunch of them,
Thank you.
Oh, no worries. You're just gonna see your stats for skyrocket.
I'm ready. We've been waiting, so this is the moment.
No, but like you could be communicating this stuff in a much more straightforward way. Like, you know, you could just, like everyone does, write some articles about it or whatever, do some looms or whatever like that. But that's the competitor.
Oh no, you can definitely mention competitors. We're better than the competitors.
Yeah,
you definitely say their names.
Loom, I hate Loom.
That's the one.
It's so bad. It's just the user experience and everything.
Yeah, exactly. The colours are wrong.
Bad name. Shoes. But hey, so like, what do you think doing it the way you're doing it, with that comedy side of it and that sort of persona, what does it bring to the table that wouldn't?
So I think a lot of people, when they talk about like marketing and branding, I think sometimes they try and get too obsessed with being likable. And I think people think like a good brand means a good reputation, and I totally disagree. I think a bad reputation could be your brand. And not that we're not that we like bad boys of marketing, but like I would like this idea of making this like horrible character who's like an idiot, a bit arrogant. And I think being contrarian is like such an asset now. By the way, just to interrupt, I used to live here.
Oh, amazing.
So I'm taking you down memory lane.
Very cool, down memory lane. Well, we haven't really talked about where we are in Barcelona. We're sort of like approaching the beach.
We are very close to the beach. We can actually nearly see it.
I love it.
Yeah, we're in a very beautiful part of the city. There's all these orange trees that have just actually been farmed.
Beautiful.
Where, like, if you ever come to Barcelona, you'll see a lot of orange trees about. So you can see there's some on the street here.
Oh,
you see there's some left. Basically, like, I think a lot of tourists, what they'll do is they will...
There's a lot on this one.
There's a loads on that one still. Wow. So what they'll do is tourists will come and they will eat the oranges.
Oh.
Which you should never do.
No.
Because they taste horrible. Like, the type of oranges they are, they're made for syrups.
Oh,
so what they'll do is they'll turn them into syrups and juices and things.
Okay.
But it's a beautiful street, like you can see the dumpsters just farmed it, but like a week ago, this whole street is just filled with oranges.
Wow.
It's
Beautiful.
the world.
Beautiful. So you were saying around having a contrarian point of view.
Yeah, I think you've got to be contrarian. I think it's such an old saying, but there's no such thing as bad press.
Yeah.
You've got to be memorable. And I don't think we're the best company at doing it, but we were inspired by a lot of companies like ClickUp who put so much effort into their videos, and they might get 200 views on a video that they probably put like 10 grand into.
Wow.
And we looked at that and we're like, well, let's not do the 10 grand part because we're a bootstrap startup. But let's do the just volume and let's do the risk taking. Let's take the risks. And if we make this annoying character, the great thing is we can just bury it. You know, we don't have a brand yet, so you can take the risk and bury something if you need to. Luckily, we rolled the dice and this worked. But.
Yeah, and you think of, people will remember and they'll always associate us with that. Like, people aren't thinking about you as much as you think they are, and they actually won't remember a few weeks from now, probably, if you had to bury it. Yeah.
No, exactly that, and they definitely won't think of like whether you're a good or a bad thing. It's like our name is Claap. Yeah. And anyone who is from the UK will know, from the whole world, that name is a bad name. It means something. It means sexual. It means chlamydia in England. Like if everyone,
it's got double A.
It's got double A. But like when I say to someone asks me like, oh, like, hey, what company you work for? And I say Claap, they laugh. Everyone laughs. And I think you have to use it to your advantage the same way. Siemens is a massive brand, and like Smeg is the biggest fridge brand in the electronic brand in the world, and it's like you have to use these things to your advantage and make them happen.
Total. As they're always like part of it, right? You're not trying to please everyone, so you can kind of be a little bit more, like you're saying, contrarian. I think a lot of times it's playing it safe when brands are like, hey, we have to be everything to everyone and just be this. It just makes it just turns into this beige thing that's not amazing for anyone.
I 100% agree. And that's something, that my boss says to me. So I'm going to bring up a lot because it's very, very smart man. But
you say it in the French accent?
I'm going to hold back. I'm going to hold back now. I've done enough offending for one podcast. But he always says to me, he'd rather piss 90% of people off and make 10% of people happy than the other way around. And he said that to me in one of my earliest days of the company. Let's go be stared.
Yeah, cool.
And it stuck with me, and I totally agree. Like, I think our idea is, like, one of the videos we put out that we were, like, probably our best video, I think it ended up with, like, 100,000 views, and a good amount of traction was when Loom got bought by Atlassian video, and we held, like, a fake funeral for them, you know? And basically we were just telling everyone that this sucks.
I remember that one,
which is not it's not a good thing to do. Like I think a lot of like legal people would advise against that, but it worked out great, and it got us like a good bit of traction, and now you know I think that really helped with the Ken Bleacher kind of amplification.
Yeah, and I guess it comes back to the fact that, you know, these channels and these like networks we're on, like social networks, whatever, so saturated. So actually standing out and doing something different is how you stand out. Like, and in B2B, just it's kind of a race to the bottom. Like more and more, everyone just sort of feels like this is how you do it. These are the playbooks, and it just everyone does the same crap. And so it's actually not all that hard if you're a little bit creative to stand out, right?
I was going to say exactly what I was thinking beforehand, like what's something I don't like.
Yeah.
I'm admittedly, despite doing all these LinkedIn videos for Ken Bleacher, I'm not very good at LinkedIn, my personal account. I don't post weekly. I know how the algorithm's supposed to work.
Yeah.
But it makes me so sad. I go on LinkedIn, I can just see a bunch of people just shoveling out frameworks and like, do this to get this. And it's like, that's not realistic. That's not possible. Everyone's trying to like sell snake oil. And I just think I am able to think of ideas that I think are really powerful because I don't look at that stuff.
Yeah, sure.
That sounds like counterintuitive.
No, totally. It's funny. It is counterintuitive because the more that stuff becomes embedded and people are just looking to these playbooks on how you do things, the more opportunity there is to, you know, do something a little bit different and stand out. It's really cool.
Exactly that. I mean, like Jimi Hendrix, but one of the best guitar players ever, and he famously never took a lesson. He just played the guitar until it made sense. And I don't think of don't delete this part of me comparing myself to Jimi Hendrix. But I think that's a very inspirational way of doing anything. I think it's very long-winded and it can take a really long time.
Yeah.
But I think the results are really worth it.
Totally, man. Well, I'm keen to take a little bit of an arm break. Let's take an arm break, actually, as we approach the beach. Wow, it's beautiful. Beautiful, man. Oh my gosh. I love those cities with like city beaches. It's supposed to be so good in summer.
It's honestly, it's amazing. You know what's funny though is in the summer you get away from the.
Yeah, you don't even.
Yeah, no, like famously, like if you live here, you leave.
Wow, really?
Because it's so hot. Yeah. It's so humid, and there's so many tourists who are famously quite annoying. That I'm annoying when I go to other cities. You know, that's just the way it is. You're walking around, you know, so famously, everyone leaves in July and August. This year, I will go somewhere else.
Wow.
But right now. My God, it's perfect. It's a lovely day. The best place in the world today. It's so good.
Oh my gosh, it's all backwards. Literally everything is backwards.
Okay, here we are. Max Gayler is about to do It's All Backwards, the segment of the show where essentially he walks backwards, that's the twist, while having a rant about something that's backwards in marketing, content marketing today. You ready, man?
I feel like I'm gonna like stumble over my words more than my feet, but let's see how we go.
It's about being succinct and it's about being passionate. I want to hear a little bit of passion, okay?
Oh, great. Oh my God, great. That's all that's all I know.
Here we go, man. I'm going to start the timer.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay, so something I find is a bit backwards in the world of B2B marketing is everyone copying each other and expecting to get the same results. And I know this might be something that a lot of people will call out, but then I see people doing it. Everyone's guilty of it. There's a lot of hypocrisy in the world of B2B marketing. I think what people expect is they're going to it's a recipe and they can just cook the same meal over and over again. It's going to be delicious. But no, you're just microwaving the same recipe, the same meal until it gets worse and worse and worse. And to the point that you're having something that's totally inedible and nobody actually wants. And I think LinkedIn culture and compare culture is largely responsible for that. But I think it just takes a little bit of originality to save us from it.
Love it, man. It's all backwards. That was great. I could sense the passion, and I haven't tried heating up leftovers 10 times, but I imagine it would just taste disgusting.
It's not good. Have
you done it in your real life?
You know, when you're a student, you learn a lot.
It's part of that.
And I think a large part of that was I definitely did the the heating thing is up 2 or 3 times that, and you get sick.
Yeah.
It's
You just get sick.
You get sick, and there's a maximum amount of times you can reheat the same recipe and get the same results, and it's once. Yeah. Sometimes it's better.
Oh, that's true.
Once.
Like a spaghetti carbonara the day
Yeah,
after,
oh my
or a
God.
lasagna.
Yesterday I had a lasagna reheated, and it was life-changing.
So, like, let's get into that metaphor. Let's dig into this a little bit. So, what might be an example? Like, you are looking, you know, at competitors sometimes, and you're thinking, hey, there's nothing new under the sun. Let's sort of like follow this cool thing that someone else is doing. And you might reheat something once, and it works great, like that lasagna. Do you have an example? You were just telling me off. I know you do.
Yes,
It's a weird question because I know you do.
That's journalism, mate. So we have loads of competitors, and because we are in this async versus sync like world, we look a lot at companies that have really good marketing and have a similar products, and TLDV is definitely one that we can kind of look at because they have a phenomenal marketing team, and their tactic with that was to hire kind of actual influencers to be in charge of their content, and then that went so well that they released this video on Product Hunt that was like, I think it like won awards and stuff. And then from that moment on, they were like, we'll just hire you as influencers, but you'll just be employees for us. So now their TikToks and their Instagram Reels and their YouTube Shorts just kind of blow up, and that's their marketing funnel. They created this amazing traction where they can get 100,000 views on a video that's about business. Does all that convert? Who knows, but it's really good traction and great branding.
Totally. Now that's a trend I was keen to talk to you a bit about, because it's like, for me, it's there's more and more stuff in B2B where we're plugging into what B2C's doing. And we're starting to realize, actually, you know, we've said it for years, but like, we're starting to P4, it's not business, whatever, blah, blah. But then again, we go back to these playbooks where we think we have to make it all serious and blah, blah, blah. And actually leaning into the whole influencer thing, it's one of those aspects where we're bringing it a bit closer to B2C. Do you kind of see your role in that space as well, the way you're doing content for a Claap?
That's a great observation, and yeah, it's 100% true. Like, we even created an Instagram for Ken Bleacher.
Yeah.
You know, sorry, a LinkedIn for Ken Bleacher. Because we were like, if you speak to anyone who knows anything about LinkedIn statistics, they'll tell you if you've got a big post that you want to blow up, or you've got an announcement, don't do it on your company.
Yeah, personal profile.
Do it on your personal profile. Yeah. That's what a lot of my friends who work at amazing companies and really intelligent, inspirational marketers, a lot of their job now is to kind of funnel content to their team and kind of enrich the social profiles of everyone in the team. You kind of almost become like your own like social media platform. It's really intelligent.
It's like, more and more I'm starting to see that. I'm trying to do that with the clients I work with, is seeing the leaders' profiles as part of your company social strategy, right?
Yeah.
And like, if you can get everyone on the same page or somehow align people to those big themes, it's so much more powerful than just posting to a company.
1000%. The obstacle there is always people like you and me, quite outgoing. We kind of like to thrive in this world of putting ourselves online. You know, when you work for a company that maybe they don't, you know, people are very intelligent in many other ways, but maybe their social media skills aren't great.
Yeah.
So your job then becomes almost like a teacher. You know, Claap is a team of 2 marketers, me and Pierre, and then everyone else is either product or development or engineering.
Right.
And you know, they're not super comfortable with posting online. So what we have to do is feed them. And that becomes your job. Stepping into the roles of various different people and just kind of like pointing out, hey, this is really interesting that you do. You didn't realize that this was interesting, but you have a really unique insight here.
Yeah, that's real interesting. So your role becomes, in a sense, that content creator, but also kind of enabling the team to be content creators themselves when they might not feel comfortable with that, or they don't know necessarily how to get started.
Exactly that. And I think people would riddle with self-doubt. I'm the same. You'll be like, oh, this isn't funny, this isn't interesting. But you can post something and it gets 1 like or 10 impressions. That's not a problem.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, here we are walking alongside the volleyball, some kind of volleyball tournament. It's going off. It's amazing.
It's beautiful, honestly.
So beautiful.
And it's like this from like February. You'll be here in February, and it's honestly not far off this. It's beautiful.
I love that, man. So, can we get a bit further into this whole influencer marketing in B2B? It's obviously big in B2C, but like, I kind of love that model around like employing influencers for your company, because one way to do it would be to, you know, set up kind of like deals or whatever with them to promote your product or whatever. Like that's the classic. You know, talk about my product in this video. Drop it. Affiliate link classic.
Very good marketing. Great.
Yeah. But what do you think that, like, what do you think having them, like, avoid by the comes from?
I think would it be a bit more so influencer marketing. I don't know about you, but if I see like you ever like watching a YouTube video or whatever it is, and if I see an ad, sometimes I'll just be like, oh, that's an ad.
Yeah.
I don't care. That's I turn it off. Even if it's a great deal and something perfect for me, it's an ad and I'll turn it off. And if you create your own influencer, you then kind of have license to be as marketing as you want, and so and you don't have to like legally divulge, hey, this is an ad, I am selling you something. You're kind of more like tricking people, for lack of a better term. But I think it's better because that's what advertisements always was. But now that we live in a world, we're so satiated by so many ads on everything. So we almost like rebel against it by saying, I'm not going to buy your ad because it's an ad.
Purposefully, like, even if it's a good offer, because you advertise to me, I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah, you're wasting 3 seconds of my time. Yeah, I do the exact same thing. And I think if you create your own influencer, and like the joy of like B2B influencer marketing that's kind of happening now, where people are using employees as influencers, I think it's just creating a much more beneficial, I think in terms of like ROI for ads, I think it's a way better idea.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. And I think it speaks to like the evolution of content marketing as well. The skills are changing. The skills of the great content marketer are changing.
It is,
you know, and actually it's that whole strategy phase of like, you know, who are we speaking to, how are we going to communicate with them, etc. But I think in the age of like video and social media and everything, actually being a content creator yourself as a content marketer, you can only do your business good.
1,000%. And I think, there's conversations we have internally, and I'm sure a lot of businesses are the same, is you have these conversations internally where you're kind of telling your marketers to market differently than they used to. Like blogging and SEO is great, but like it's very linear, and I think there's so much more room to explore. And I think some of the best marketing is happening using video, using influencers, using personalities as a brand. Yeah. And I think like that's definitely our goal is to kind of that be the marketing funnel. Obviously, we have eggs in a few different baskets for a young startup, but I think our goal is definitely to kind of, this is the rolling of the dice. You know, you have something like SEO or ads, which are a bit more reliable, but they're not going to you're not going to wake up in the morning and your ad did amazing. Yeah. Like your ad, 10 times your revenue. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, sure.
But something like this, like the idea of virality is too powerful to ignore if you're a marketer, basically.
Totally, man. Well, this has been an awesome conversation. We're still walking along the beach.
It's still
beautiful.
It's so nice, honestly.
You talked about, what's this beach called? This
is Contrarian.
Oh, we've gone a few beaches.
Yeah, so we started off at Marbella, which was the nudist beach, which we weren't allowed to film at.
We didn't film at that one.
No, for the right reasons, we didn't film
I would have had to do some snazzy blurring.
No, your editing skills would have had to step up. And then we were working along Bogatel Beach, which is my beach, and now we're on Icaria Beach, which is kind of approaching the more central part of the city.
Amazing. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful May day. Well, Max, keen to just kind of like get practical before we finish, because we're going to link to these videos. I might even be showing one on screen right now. Oh, look at that!
Look at it!
Wow! Is that really you? Wow! Practically, how do you kind of like film videos? What's your process?
This is the bit I'm definitely most proud of.
Yeah.
Is I'm in charge of everything. Yeah. Just seen some friends of mine. This is the life. This is the beach life.
Hey friends.
Hi Joe. Definitely gonna let them know. I am in charge of everything, and I'm very proud of this part. But because it's not easy to do some filming, and we've definitely hit loads of roadblocks where I have like film footage that was out of focus, or the audio wasn't right, or the shadows on the green screen were wrong. Basically, I turned my house into the studio to record. So I clear the living room, I pull a green screen down, and then I set up my table and my laptop with the same things consistently every single time. I get into my Ken Bleacher outfit, just in case someone hasn't looked at the video or they've listened to the podcast. I'm basically wearing a black suit. I'm wearing a matador-style shirt, and I'm wearing a fake mustache despite having a mustache, and
a black wig.
And a big jet black bushy wig, which I think is going to get an update soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's got some miles on her. I think we're going to give him a haircut soon. And also, as a bold man, I get to just live my dream of being in my living room and having hair. But I film it all. Like, I come from a lot of I've done a lot of filming work in my time, so I have the equipment and I have lapel mics and I film all that, and it'll be on a green screen, and then I'll kind of think of clever ways to kind of use the green screen, and that's how we get all those shots. And then to get the product shots, you have to use a product called Screen Studio, which everyone probably knows about already, but amazing. We do all our product shots with Screen Studio, and they all look I wish.
Okay, Screen Studio, guys. Definitely. It's just good to get the practical.
And then Premiere to edit all of it. I use Adobe Enhance to make my audio clean. I don't know if you've ever used Adobe. You're a podcaster. It's really nuts, and it used to be amazing when they first put it out. They let everyone have access to the full suite for free, and now they've obviously, because it's got subtraction, you have to pay. For example, they automatically enhance them a lot to the point they almost sound a bit fake.
Okay.
Whereas, if you pay for the real one, you can pull it back so it sounds good. But that tool's amazing. I highly recommend Adobe Enhance.
Okay, cool. And what are you turning around one of those at? Like, how long does it take?
So let's say we have two different types of video at Claap. We have the kind of satirical marketing videos, which are involved a pain point, some silly acting for me trying to make fun of the point, and then a very quick product shot. I would say those take about half a day to film. I'd say they take a day to edit, and then about half a day to do the distribution in terms of get them on YouTube, getting the thumbnails ready.
Yeah.
So I'd say you can do one in about 2 days' work. Yeah. Obviously, there's things sometimes things take longer and whatever, but it's about 2 days' work.
Wow.
And then it's pretty. I'm like.
What shows though? It's quality.
It's quality.
If you're pumping those out in a couple of hours, I feel bad about this.
The thing is, now it's a recipe. Trust me, a year ago, it was not too much. It was like a week, 2 weeks, and it's if I do a tutorial video, because we obviously then have our walkthroughs, the content, our onboarding content, that is much more like a week. Because I have to do a lot more filming, I have to do a lot more script writing, and I have to do a lot more kind of feedback and rounds of feedback with a team.
Yeah. Okay, cool, man. And you just got onto it there. I think I should ask this because it's an interesting point as well. You have kind of like a YouTube strategy, but you're also posting them on LinkedIn. How are you thinking about all those different channels which you've created?
That's a great question, and it's something I'd love to talk about, because I don't think enough, and there's a lot of people who talk about this, but there's not enough people who are using YouTube to their advantage. Totally. It's such a good tool. Yes, the SEO on YouTube is so well designed to kind of put your videos into the algorithm.
Secondly, is searching.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah, that makes a load of sense. But so our strategy there is we do genuinely target a keyword with our videos.
Okay.
And in terms of thumbnails, we've definitely found, if you're not making custom thumbnails, even if it's the smallest bit, you make a custom thumbnail. It makes such a massive difference to your traction. And we've definitely found that some videos just boom because you use you'll change a word in the title. Wow. You'll notice a lot of famous YouTubers do this. If you subscribe to someone, let's say you subscribe to Mr. Beach, he's the easiest example of
always bring Alice.
Always bring Mr. Beach, and say if there's marketing you have to. He will put out a video, and if it doesn't perform well enough in the first hour, he'll change the thumbnail, he'll change the title, and he'll have certain, and you should do the same thing. Obviously, it's on a huge scale, so it's much easier for him to do this, but you should also be putting a goal, and if you don't hit that goal, you should be switching the title, switching the thumbnail. Yeah. That's what we do every single time.
Really cool, man.
Awesome. And then LinkedIn is rallying your Slack channels.
Yeah.
You literally, distribution is just posting it.
Like
my thing, and you grab all the introvert engineers and you say, I don't care how sleepy or dark your room is today, you have to post my video on LinkedIn, and you have to like it, and you have to comment, you have to share. Everyone has to get involved.
Nice, man. Very cool. I totally agree with YouTube. It's in B2B, it's just this it's just a symmetry of webinar recordings that you just throw up on there.
Oh, it's
just random. Yeah.
I hate going on someone's channel and there's a really nice thumbnail video. You take it's the grainiest, worst audio, webinar conference. I'm not gonna watch this.
Yeah. Often it feels We have all these videos. Where should we put them? Oh, let's just put them on our YouTube channel.
Slam on the YouTube.
really
Someone will love them.
Yeah. We don't really have a strategy or anything, but nah, it's super cool. I think there's going to be big stuff happening, especially when we talk about influencer marketing and hiring more influencers. Like YouTube is their playground, and that'll come over to B2B for sure.
Exactly that, and I think having a presence across all of TikTok. I think TikTok is obviously another big thing that I think people are scared of. I've also been a bit scared of TikTok. When we talk about Max, it's time to start posting your things on TikTok, I'm a bit like, oh, I'm 30. but I'm proving myself wrong because TikTok is definitely the best place to get organic traffic.
Right.
Like it's amazing.
Totally.
You put if you have a video that clicks, next thing you know, like we put some bad videos up there that have got more views than anything we've ever put on YouTube.
Wow. Jack. Man, I also feel similar in the sense like another channel and you know, working in marketing, someone's made a new app and you're just like, oh, frick, it means I have to go on there now.
Okay, I've got to like learn how to do that.
Yeah.
Like I barely know how to do the other ones.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that like YouTube Shorts is something we're having to do at the moment as well.
Yeah.
And similar
That's
thing.
a big one, eh? But that's part of the beauty of it, but it's also just like, I think with all these new features or new channels, it's also asked yourself, how can we do that well? We're not just going to like post the same crap on there, or like we need to somehow adapt it to work for that channel. And there has to be some thinking.
Yeah, 1000%. Like for example, we might backload our videos if we're putting them on vertical channels. And what I mean by backloading is you'll kind of almost like tease the end. Okay. Like it is a very common thing to see on YouTube as well. Is like they'll put the end at the start, they'll tease it, and then they'll get into the video. And we kind of have to do that, because I get maybe a little
people early.
You got to hook people early. Like people will click off the video so quick if it's not immediately engaging. And I have a habit of coming from like making documentaries. I have a habit of maybe being a little bit too like arty at the start.
Right.
Like I might have like a long moody shot at the start. Yeah. Luckily, when I give that to my team, they're like, yeah, get rid of that. Don't do that.
It's like I like that part.
I'm like, no, but that's me. That's me. That's it.
Maybe Max, to finish, going back to a point we had earlier, it's like you have this vision for content a lot of times, and it sounds like speaking to you, you're a very creative person who, you come up with the ideas. How do you kind of balance like that, getting feedback from people and kind of keeping your vision strong? And does it ever kind of, I don't know, it's a weird way to say it, but like, do you ever get hurt feelings when people say, no, that's crap?
You suffer ego deaths on a daily basis. Well, like, I come from copywriting, really. Like, this is my first job where I've been like, my title has been like marketing or content strategy.
Yeah.
I've been doing copywriting, but I've been doing marketing. So that copywriting room really kind of like forged me into someone who could take criticism and not take it too personally, because you can't be the best. You can't have the best ideas. Like every single time you show something to anyone, they will make it better. And I think if I think I'm doing that to someone else's work, because again the ego comes out. But I think I got to have the same thing and think someone else is doing the same thing to me.
Cool.
And I think it's important to just. That's the kind of thing where you don't focus on yourself. You focus on the product and you focus on the outfit. And you focus on the team, and you focus on winning, and and then you kind of put your ego to the side and believe you.
Yeah, that's really cool. And if you can have that outlook of like other people's feedback is going to make it better versus like diluting it or whatever. Yeah, it's a good outlook to have.
100%. I think a lot of that comes from trusting a team. If you work with a team that inspires you, that you don't even need to think about that. Like I'm very lucky to have worked with some amazing people who. I just believe in them, so I want their feedback.
Yeah, love them, man.
I think that's very important for anyone who's doing anything creative. Is just be running it by people you trust, and that might be hard if you're in a small company.
Yes.
If you don't have a big team, who do you speak to? And that's when you need to find channels, you need to find Slack communities, or you need to find LinkedIn friends, and that's when you kind of you need to have like build community around your content.
Yeah, find the right people who you trust to bounce it off.
Exactly that. Like I read this amazing thing this morning. You might have even seen it, and it was like I thought he's from Brian Gilligan, the founder of HubSpot. Oh yeah. And he had said, I think like a overrated skill for a marketer is like a bunch of analytical skills, and a really underrated skill is to have good team.
I think I have seen that. Yeah. I feel like overall, more and more, I'm starting to feel like we're coming out of this age of like data-driven marketing. Where that was like the whole thing. Like everyone's like, I'm a data-driven marketer. Data isn't the important thing ever. Like it kind of goes without saying, but creativity and taste and all this stuff is, is so important.
And it is exactly that. And I guess the next question someone might have would be like, how do I get good taste? How do I know something is right? And the truth is, it's just throwing enough things at the wall until they stick and trying. It's the kind of thing, if you've got writer's block, just write.
Yeah.
Same thing with marketing. If you need to market something, just start pushing stuff out, and you'll find your brand, you'll find your voice, and you'll find something that you enjoy doing. Once you enjoy doing it, everyone else will enjoy it.
So cool.
Every single time, I definitely found that the most fun I've ever had marketing is definitely doing the Ken Bleacher stuff.
Yeah.
And it's definitely the best feedback I've ever got from anyone.
Awesome.
And having people, willing to, will be prospecting customers sometimes. They'll be in a call and they'll be like, oh, you're the Ken Bleacher guy? And it's like, oh, cool. You must feel like a celebrity sometimes.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It's very rewarding.
But it just shows because it's so different to what other companies are doing, and it really stands out. So keep doing what you're doing, man.
Oh, thank you so much. We're going to try. We had a slow Q1 was Ken was sleeping.
Ken was sleeping
a bit. Q2 and Q3 2024, we've got so much stuff coming to Ken.
Sick.
Very
Ken
excited.
is coming. Watch out for Ken. Is there any teasers into what we can look out for with Ken?
So we've never posted anything that hasn't been me filming with my DSLR in the room and with the green screen.
Yeah.
We are about to make the move. Probably by the time this comes out, we will have made the move to actual just straight up influencer content, TikTok style content. We're doing full on vertical influencer content. We're going full influencer.
With Ken Bleacher.
Yeah, and Ken's going full influencer.
Full influencer.
Yes.
Sick. Excited to see that. Well, Max, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. This has been loads of fun. I got to have a beautiful brisk walk and talk about
brisk
myself.
walk, yeah. We like to walk fast here on Content Marketing for you. It brings out the puffness, brings out the insights.
So you go into survival mode, so you just say the stuff that counts.
Yeah, I have been on interviews with people before where at the end they were like, we were walking way too fast. I'm really tired. I'm sorry.
That's great. I think our pace has been spot on today.
It's been spot on. Good stuff. Hey, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. I'm going to go, I think you need to go back to the beach and maybe do some tanning, maybe on that first one. And we'll see you next week on Content Marketing Commute. Bye-bye.
Thanks.